Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kaustubha. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome, everybody, to Thursday. And guess what? I had my own personal Krishna miracle yesterday. This was such a Krishna miracle.
Hold it. Let's see if you're just blowing this out of proportion.
You'll see.
Or if it's a real Krishna miracle.
All right. You be the, all right. I want our Zoom people to be the board. If you're new to the show, welcome. We do this live on Zoom every day, but it also goes out to thousands of other people through major podcast channels. And we call those people the others. And we call the Zoom people the Zoomies. I'm changing it to Zoomy. That sort of thing.
You just do that. We haven't discussed this, right?
You know what? You gotta update these things.
Okay.
But check this out. So I'm driving and I'm getting like text messages in bad because I need to
tell me that you weren't reading them while you were driving.
I was trying not to, and they involved kids and picking up kids and dropping off kids, and I had to be sharp. So I pulled over my car.
Okay.
And I got one of the kids' parents on the phone, and then I see, while I'm talking to him, a message has come in from Mara, our very own producer, Mara.
She's always producing. It's not just here live, but she's always doing stuff
producing
behind the scenes.
things. So while I'm talking on the phone, a message comes in from Mara that said, "Hey, I made you some of the magical mushroom brew. I just dropped it off."
Careful when you say magical mushroom. That to people that aren't straight edge, that means something else.
Magical mushroom.
You never lived in that world, but
medicinal mushroom brew. But she made me some, and I dropped it off at your house. As I read it, I kid you not, a truck drives by that says Simon's Catering. And I quickly ended the call with my friend and called up Mara. It's like, "Mara, did you just pass me on Route 203? She goes, "Oh, that was you?" "Yeah, I just did." I was like, "I was just reading your text message. It's a Krishna miracle. It's a Krishna miracle." That was a Krishna. Come on. That was a Krishna miracle.
It's all right.
That was Krishna just sprinkling it on, saying, "It's all real. All this crazy stuff you're reading, it's real."
All right. I didn't know you got trucks driving around with your name on it.
Mara's got trucks.
That's incredible.
Lots of trucks. Her name on it and her photo like this.
Stop.
No.
Does it say #1 vegan caterer in Columbia County on it?
Does it?
Yeah.
It might.
No, it just says Simon's Catering.
In the banner of like wheat, you know.
Yeah.
You get Sean Murphy, vegan trucker, driving that truck for you.
Yeah.
Tie it all together.
Right.
He might even be, the vegan trucker might just be on the show hoping you'll hire him.
You know, let me get this straight. Mara, like in the middle of the day, she's got so many other things to do. She drives her truck all the way over to drop off some mushroom brew for you. What?
Isn't that sweet?
Humble
She's
service she
kind
does. That's
lady.
incredible.
She's very kind.
I also delivered 25 chrysanthemums for Rachel's wedding in a couple of weeks, which is why I was in the big truck.
Okay, so it wasn't just to drop off.
It wasn't just the mushroom. I would have done that in my car if I'd.
Big truck.
Got a big wedding coming up.
Yeah, wedding at Super Soul Farm. We're excited. The day before Wisdom of the Sages retreat.
All right.
Hey, check this out. I don't usually do this, Kaustubha. I usually discuss this, but this guy somebody wrote in with a crazy dream about us. I thought it was interesting. I just want to read it. Do you mind?
Go ahead.
All right. Raghu,
it's all Bhagavatam, right?
I'm cutting it all down. Okay. Raghu, I dreamt my girlfriend and I were on a spiritual retreat with you in a group similar to your pilgrimages with Kaustubha, but I was underground in an inner earth cavern. I vividly remember trekking down on slabs of cold and wet stone to the massive cave and open cavern. And it was strange because it wasn't cold. It was relatively modernized, but definitely in an inner earth. You led classes and we all chanted and read the Srimad Bhagavatam. I also remember having a balcony, which is weird because we're underground. Furthermore, there are subdivision communities out there, as well as the bright sunshine. Again, we were in a cavern, so I don't know how this can happen. I thought this dream was going to be deeper. Okay, I interpret my dream as going deep inside myself, my own inner earth, as a sort of meditative effort in order to find true peace, insight, and humility, while the bright sunshine resembles my internal light. And also the subdivision is reminding me to balance this 3D material world with my higher interior self, and not to be tied down, but to remember that eternal peace and happiness lies within, and it can be helped out by spiritual teachings of the sages.
Okay, you always got to put the positive spin on it.
Yeah, who? I like it. Drew Pagnota.
Okay. It's like that's worthy of I had the weirdest dream speech right there.
I had the weirdest dream. I like how it goes right back to a spiritual focus.
Yeah. Okay.
You ever have you don't have kids. Ever have your kid wakes up and just goes, I want to tell you my dream. And I'm always like, please don't. It's just like never an ending. It goes on forever. It makes no sense when you're awake. Please don't tell me your dream. It's like one of the worst things I could hear in the morning. I got to tell you my dream. Okay.
You just did it to all of us, but
but it had a spiritual substance to it.
It did.
Okay. Anything you want to announce, Mara?
Roya from the Bhakti Center is teaching today's asana at 10 a.m.
Roy is great and very learned in Ayurveda as well.
And then starting on Monday, there's going to be a new asana class on for Patreon members. It's Monday at 10 a.m. with Claire Weatherly. It's an Iyengar inspired practice.
That's
every
awesome.
Monday.
Every Monday.
Wow.
That's awesome. We have such a thing going on Patreon. I never thought it would become. That's wonderful. It is. That's our online community. We call it a vault of knowledge. If you'd like to enter, if you like knowledge and you want knowledge, you just enter that vault. And therefore it is. You can save all the archived, vaulted classes, valuable classes, bundles. We call them bundles of vaulted classes. Sometimes they're mysterious, mystical classes as well. And you do that by going to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages. Pledge some support for our podcast. That's how we survive. That's how we eat. Or you can just choose not to feed us. It's your choice. Good day. Wisdom of the sages. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service to the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmidatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Keep those letters coming, people. It's great. And keep those reviews going on the Apple podcast reviews. Tell us your story. Tell us where you're from. Tell us who you are, why you're here.
Start a new chapter today, Raghunath.
It's exciting. And the name of the chapter is The Cause of All Causes. I love that phrase. What's the cause? Well, this is a cause. Well, what caused that cause? Oh,
Keep going back.
That cause. You can go it back. What's the original cause of all causes?
The Sarvakarna-karnam?
What's the Sarvakarna-karnam? The cause of all causes.
Govinda. Ishvara Parama Krishna.
It's the question that everybody asks. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, the chicken. Well, where did the chicken come from? An egg. Well, where did the egg come from? A chicken.
We understand
There's
how
no
that
answer.
works.
Huh?
But this isn't like that. There is an answer.
I know. That's why the
Sarvakarna-karnam.
original chicken, the cause of the egg is.
I mean, did Krishna create the egg first or the chicken?
He created Lord Brahma first.
Okay.
He created
Brahma
Lord Vishnu
created a
first.
chicken.
And then
or an egg.
Brahma created the Prajapatis.
Okay.
It's the only way it makes sense. There is a being that gives birth to other species. It's not like a human being. It's not like Mara can give birth to a baby girl or a baby boy, a chimpanzee, a rooster. That can't happen. But the Prajapatis can. Now, I've never met a Prajapati. I've never met a person that can give birth to multiple beings. That doesn't mean they don't exist. I just don't know everything. I haven't seen everything. I live in a tiny, tiny little planet on a tiny universe. On a tiny country. I haven't even seen the animals of Africa in the wild. There's a lot of crazy colored animals and birds. The birds here are basically black and white. They're quite boring, except an occasional yellow finch. But the birds of Africa, come on.
Cardinal. There's so many.
There's a cardinal. We have cardinals. That's our
Blue
big
jay.
bird. Go to the tropics. Go to Ecuador. Go to Bali. Go to, you'll see these birds. Colorful birds. We don't see them. What to speak of other planets? We don't see the people giving birth to different species. We don't have them here.
So you're saying that our experience is limited.
Our experience is very, very limited.
And we should be open to ideas that things are very different and things that we haven't even imagined exist.
The idea is we don't know everything.
Okay.
And we will never admit it.
Let's
But I'm
admit
here
it
to admit that today. We don't know everything. And there's even a thing that we can't know everything because our senses are limited. We can't have perfect knowledge. Here's the tattoo. We can't have perfect knowledge with imperfect senses.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree with the statement. I'm just not going to get the tattoo. Got to do better.
Kaustubha has no tattoos. Mara has no tattoos. That means you're a blank canvas for a good wisdom of the sages saying.
Okay. So, the previous chapter you had Maharaj Pariksit asking about the creation. And then Shukadeva Goswami, he did his meditation and brought his mind to Krishna to get the inspiration to speak. And then he ended the chapter by saying, the same question that you're asking me, it's been asked before.
Yep.
Right? And it's been asked before by Narada, the great sage, to his father, Lord Brahma, who's like really the creator himself. So it's a great person to ask the question of. And so now we're starting right there today with that conversation. This means, you know what it means, Raghunath?
What does it mean?
It means the conversation is going to level 3.
He loves these levels. It's true. This is level 3. It's the conversation within a conversation. It's within a conversation. And the interesting thing about that, Kaustubha, is that it's the questions that everybody has. Every week we do questions and answers. And guess what? That's like level 10. When we're asking questions like, who am I? Why am I here? These questions have been asked before.
Who am I and why am I here? I remember those.
We're singing hardcore lyrics.
That's right.
For those who don't know, if you know what hardcore band that is, you can write it on the board right now.
Ramananda's going to win that one.
Yeah. Nancy Rothman's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That being said, our questions and answers, thank you, Bhakti Louie.
Oh, we got
Our
it.
questions and answers, this is the Bhagavatam continued. It's like the Bhagavatam coming 3D out of the computer, out of the pages of the book and into real life. And these questions been answered even back to the time of Lord Brahma. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Now you tell me, what is level 1? Just because we got to keep
Shaunakarishi.
speaking to.
Shaunakarishi speaking to this. He's the leader of the sages speaking to
Questioning.
questioning Sutta Goswami.
Okay, so Sutta Goswami speaking to the sages and Naimisharanya is level 1.
That's level 1. And then he speaks of Sukadeva Goswami speaking to Maharaj Pricket.
Level 2.
Level 2. So he's saying, well, I was in this great gathering of a great soul, this naked 16-year-old boy, speaking to a great king who had just been cursed to die. So that's level 2.
And then he says, in this case,
That reminds me of Yudhisthira and Maitreya. Is that level 3? Yudhisthira and Maitreya?
well, I mean, you think Vidura Maitreya, but that's one level. But today's level 3, because he may enter different level 3s. Today's level 3 is Narada and Brahma.
I'm getting thrown off with the level.
That's what the chapter that we're reading today. It's a conversation between Narada and Brahma.
Meaning we haven't got to Vidura yet.
Yeah, that'll come later. That's another level 3. But right now we're going on this level 3.
When does 4 come in? We just have a bunch of 3s now?
Because then, like, for instance, if in the conversations between, like, say, Vidura and Maitreya's going to say, oh, let me tell you about another conversation. That'll be level 4.
Okay, I get it. See, these are all level 3s. Kaustuba's got to make a map of this. I'm more of a visual person.
Okay.
Sri Narada Muni asked Brahmaji. I like how they say Brahmaji instead of Brahma.
Brahmaji.
Right? Isn't that cute? Sri Narada Muni asked Brahmaji, "Oh, chief amongst the demigods, oh, firstborn, Aja, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances to you. Please tell me the transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the super soul."
That's the question, right? Like, in other words, Prabhupada would always say this. It's like, where's the university that is studying the nature of the self or consciousness? Where is that? Right? But that's Narada's question.
I want a PhD in that.
Yeah, tell me about the knowledge that specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the super soul. All right, good question.
My dear Father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest world. What is the background? How is it created? How is it conserved? And under whose control is all this being done?
That's going to be the rest of the chapter. Once it gets going, is going to answer all those questions. Who's behind all this? The cause of all causes.
What are the symptoms of the manifest world? What is the background? How is it created? This is interesting stuff. Yeah. I never ask questions like this. I'm just like, who am I? Why am I here? These are like a little deeper. My dear
Prabhupada
Father
says in the commentary, he says, the intelligent person can see that neither the living entity, the soul, nor the phenomenal world, the material world that we're in, are creations of chance. The symmetry of creation.
The chance theory is so foolish.
It's crazy.
Chance. There's a peacock feather. Chance? Come on. Good luck running into that. It's all miraculous. It's all a miracle. The creation has a creator. Of course. Duh.
He says the symmetry of creation and its regulative actions and reactions suggest the plan of an intelligent brain behind them. And by genuine inquiry, one may find out the ultimate cause with the help of one who knows them factually. The symmetry, come on.
The symmetry, right?
I mean,
how do you explain consciousness? How can we explain consciousness?
I mean, or even like you say, how can you explain the human eye? How can you explain the human body? I mean, my God, the human body, the brain, its ability to heal, to reproduce.
How can you explain that the things we need to intake to nourish us happen to taste good?
It's by chance.
It's by chance. It tastes good. Blueberries.
It's all by chance,
right? How about this one? How do you explain if everything is just chemicals on a periodic table? Explain to me Music.
Okay.
Mara?
She
And
can't do
explain
it.
it.
Even she went to private school.
You went to
can't do
private school. I'm sure they indoctrinated you in atheism there too. Was
it.
it?
No, was it a Christian school?
No.
What was it called again?
One of those.
Emma Willard.
Emma Willard. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. My dear Father, all this is known to you scientifically. See, it's still science. It's just not their speculative science, which is guesswork. Guesswork taught us fact. Shelter lyrics. That's why things sometimes roll off my mouth very simple, because they're just lyrics I have in my head. My dear Father, all this is known to you scientifically, because whatever was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, and whatever is being created in the present, as well as everything within the universe, is within your grip, just like a walnut.
Walnut. Sometimes that walnut is given. But, actually, if you look at this verse, I think Prabhupada just kind of like westernized it or something with that.
What's
Because
the word? What's the
Amalaki. It's the Amalaki fruit.
He said a walnut. It's not. It's an amalaki. Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting? Meaning something very tiny.
Something that you can grip, right? Just like without fail.
So an amalaki is about the same size.
Yeah.
An amalaki is an Indian gooseberry.
Yeah. I'm eating it daily now in my Prash.
Oh, really?
It's the world's richest source of vitamin C.
That's what they say. It's also the most sour fruit I've ever eaten.
Yeah, it's incredibly sour.
Incredibly sour. I'm just gonna say, I grow it. Do you know that? I grow them.
That's great. You should be making, Raghunath, you should be making your own batches of Prash. It's nature's flu shot. It's powerful stuff. It gets you through the winter,
It could be your medicine.
Yeah. Well, you've got Amalaki. You just need to grow those ashwagandha and these other herbs.
Ashwagandha, Chavanprash, Shavanamuni.
It's really good to eat at this time of year, because this is when everybody gets sick, when like seasons are changing.
Me and Mara continuing with our cleanse, our secret cleanse.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So in any case, but it said, grip it like a walnut, because a lot of times the yogi is called like that. Like you get your mind gripped like usually the mind is wandering all over the place, but you can grip it in your palm like a walnut or like an amalaki fruit. Here he's saying that he knows, he's got all this knowledge. He's got a grip on it. So fill me in.
Okay. My dear Father, what is the source of your knowledge? Like, where did you get so smart? This is sort of like what we're talking about, the baby turtles. Where did they get their knowledge from? What is the source of your knowledge, Father? Under whose protection are you standing? Like Brahma has an instinct too, to create. It's his instinct, right? Where did Brahma get it from? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energies? Like, where are you getting your ability from?
Yeah. Now the next two verses,
Right?
He's going to kind of like be a little confused here. It's like, it seems like this.
Ever meet those people? These people drive me crazy. You can take singing lessons for years. They just come out of the womb singing songs like, yeah! These people are just like Gaurabani, Karnamrita. They could like sing so beautifully. And I don't know if they've ever had singing lessons. They're just born singing, They're people where do they get it from? There's this ability.
We're going to find out in this chapter.
You're right. Let's get to the bottom of this. Kaustubha warned me before the show. He's like, listen, we're moving on. There's a good verse we want to get to.
I don't think we're going to get there, though. I don't care if we get there or not.
Okay.
Let's just have fun today.
No fun. Whatever we can understand by nomenclature.
No. You skipped one. And how could you skip
Spider very easily
the spider?
Creates the network of its cobweb and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others. So also yourself, by employment of your self-sufficient energy, create without many others' help. Create without any others' help.
So this is his confusion. He said he'll clear this up in text 7. He's going to say, or is it like this? But he's saying it seems like you just create everything. It all just, again, we're talking the spider here, right?
It's like you're God, like you're God.
It looks like you're God. It looks like everything comes from within you, and you just create everything from within, and then you withdraw it yourself like the spider. Because as far as I can see, Narda's saying, right, my senses are limited, but when I look at creation, it looks like you are behind the whole thing.
Right? Even Narada has that limited vantage point.
Yeah. So what's he doing? He's inquiring from someone that knows.
Right.
This is this is our lineage, right? There are 4 different, what's called sampradaya. This is the word for the week today.
It's the word of the week, sampradaya. Write it down. You don't have to
Sampradaya.
tattoo it, just write it down.
Yeah. And so it means a lineage that's handing down the spiritual teachings. And so our lineage that we practice in, it begins with, who's it named after?
Mara.
Mara. Oh, we got her stumped. She's confused. She's reaching. She's thinking.
Don't look at that message board. Look at me.
Brahma.
Don't look down.
Brahma.
Aravind gave it away.
Aravind.
Aravind.
Yeah, so it's Brahma. It begins with Lord Brahma. I mean, of course, he gets it from Vishnu. All of the 4. Okay, we need someone to name the Raghunath. I'm putting you on that hot seat. What are the 4?
You put me on the hot seat?
Yeah, but you're gonna
Brahma.
smoke. Yeah.
4 Kumars.
Yeah.
Rudra by Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
And Lakshmi Devi.
That's right. Okay. So these are 4 Vaishnava lineages where the teachings are handed down. Teachings of Bhakti-yogi are handed down. And but the one that we follow in is originating right here from Brahma. Brahma hears it from Vishnu. We're going to hear about that, how he becomes empowered, by Vishnu, and it is taught by Vishnu. And here we have Vishnu handing it down to Brahma. All right, he's asking the questions, Brahma's giving the answers. And then Narada is going to teach it to Vasudeva, who's the compiler of all the Bhagavatam and all this Vedic literature. And within the Bhagavatam, we hear about how Vasudeva hands it down to Shukadeva Goswami. And Shukadeva Goswami speaks it to Maharaj Pariksit and to Sutta Goswami. So it's that step being handed down. But here we have Narada inquiring from Brahma. It seems like you're that spider. It seems like everything's coming from you. But you know what, Raghunath? Read the next one. I want to talk about something.
Text 7.
Text 6.
Text 6. Whatever we can understand by nomenclature, characteristics, I guess that's names, right, Mara?
Yeah.
Characteristics and features of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal or temporary, is not created from any source other than of your lordship, thou so great. It is not created from any source other than your lordship, thou so great.
So he's saying, this is what it appears to me like everything's coming from you, that you're God. And you know what? We mentioned this the other day, I think. Sometimes these so-called spiritual leaders and so on, they allow, especially in India, you see this happen a lot, not only in India, they allow they don't come out and say, I'm God, but they allow all their followers to say it, right?
Yeah. You're a God. Oh, and they just go like this. They move their head left to right. Oh.
Or actually, we're all God, but I've realized it, and I'm really God, or whatever, But Brahma's not going to let this go on. He's going to clear it. No. Let's get things.
It's a sign of a guru. It's a sign of a real bona fide guru. They'll never say I'm God. They'll say I'm the servant of God.
Right.
We are all servants of God.
Right.
Generally, they say, oh, no, you don't understand. I'm very fallen. You don't know. They'll never take credit. Great souls never take credit. They always defer to their gurus, their teachers. I am very small. Some of the greatest souls I've ever met in India. You say something like, you are so wonderful. They say, I am very small. I am very tiny. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of, I think, realized people. They understand their insignificance in the universe. And their significance comes from understanding they're part of God. It doesn't come from some quality they have, some strength they have, some intelligence they have, some beauty they have, something they have. It comes that I'm part of God, and I'm contributing back. And we find our significance, Mara, from our contribution.
From a contribution. But even the contribution is insignificant, isn't it?
No, it's the
No.
most significant. It's
Why?
our offering. It's our offering to God. So in that sense, it's very significant.
If it pleases God, it's significant.
It's significant. Yeah. That's a good tattoo.
If it that's better than the last one.
Yeah, our contribution, we find our significance from our contribution.
No, I was going to say, if it pleases
That's a
God,
t-shirt.
it's significant if it pleases God. I like that.
Okay.
All right.
We'll have a little A/B test.
So now Narada, he's been saying, Brahma, it looks like you're God. You're the creator. Everything's coming from you. But now he shares his doubt. But I'm noticing something else too, which makes me think maybe there's something beyond you, someone beyond you. And that's this verse right here, text 7.
Yet we are moved to wonder about the existence of someone more powerful than you when we think of your great austerities in perfect discipline, although your good self is so powerful in the matter of creation. Right?
So people, the yogis, they practice austerity because they're trying to connect to someone beyond them. You know,
some force, some energy, some higher power.
Some higher power that they get their power from or their empowerment from. So Narada's saying, but I see you doing austerities, you know, throughout the Vedic literature. You know what we just got, Gita Priya and I just got, Raghunath, we ordered it. You'll be
Mail?
into this.
In the mail? You got something in the mail?
We got something in the mail.
What'd you get?
We got Amarchita Kata comic books. Like
which ones?
Well, we ordered 3.
The new ones are like you can buy them like in books.
Yeah, so we got the
taken
Mahabharata.
all the comic books and made it in. Oh, I've got the Mahabharata.
That's like in 3 books, is that right?
It's like a big 3 It's like a box set.
Yeah, it's a box set. So we got that box set. We got the Ramayana box set.
That's good.
And
I got Gods and Goddesses.
That's the one we got so far.
That's a good one.
It's so awesome.
It's a good one. I will say that it has. I find those Amar Chitra Katha comics, they have extra secret info in them. Like only the children.
Well,
that's why the kids that grow up practicing bhakti, they know like details that we never know.
Because those are coming from other Puranas that we haven't read.
I know, and it's filled with tons of mystical and secret information.
But they keep like that. You can see they keep it tight to the story. You know, like when they're doing Bhagavatam, it's like it's right on. You know, at least as far as I've seen so far.
No, that's great.
And so in those stories, you get a lot of examples of someone that goes off to perform austerities because they want to please some god, right? And get some kind of power.
Like someone just said there's an Amar Chitra Katha app.
Oh, okay.
What? You know what I used? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
But I used to have these Amar Chitra Katha trivia cards.
Nancy
Rothman's
got this Mahabharata set.
But I had the trivia cards for Mahabharata, and they were really good, and they're hard.
What happened?
Like I don't know. I had them when I was a brahmachari.
They have a little quiz at the back of every magazine too, because even these full volume books are just magazines put together in one volume. They're like the actual magazines, and they just kind of glue them
trivia
together.
at the end of each one.
Yeah, there's a trivia at the back page of each.
Nancy Rothman could actually pull some trivia out and quiz us.
Good. So
put it on the board.
So, in any case, in those comics, which are just another telling of the Puranas. A lot of times you have these stories of someone doing austerities to connect, to please some god, to get empowerment from some kind of higher figure. And so here Narada's saying, I'm seeing you do austerities. And it looks like you're the creator of everything. You're the cause of all causes. But at the same time, why would you be practicing austerities then?
Wow. Well, right. Yeah. Who is your God? Who is your God, Brahma?
Text 8.
Text 8. My dear Father, you know everything, and you are the controller of all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me. He's still got this humility, so that I may be able to understand it as your student.
He's a disciple. Narada's being the guru, and Brahma's the guru.
You ever think like, I'm just.
I see you distracted.
up.
There's too much going on in the chat board.
Lord Brahma said, "My dear boy Narada." So this is Brahma dad talking now. My dear boy Narada, being merciful to all, including me, you have asked these questions because I have been inspired to see into the prowess of the almighty personality of Godhead. So good questions are just as good answers because they prompt the good answers.
That's actually where, the whole book begins with the sages of Naimisharanya asking questions. First chapter of the Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 1, is the questions that the sages place before Sutta Goswami. And the second chapter begins with them saying, these are excellent questions, because only these kind of questions lead to Atma Suprasidhiti, to complete satisfaction of the self. Right? Are you with me, Raghunath?
Yeah, I'm looking at the, I'm looking what number.
Okay. Number of what?
What's that?
What number of what? You're not even listening to me now. You're gone, Raghunath. I can see it.
You don't have to. Everyone is downloading. There's like a massive exodus leaving our world, and they're all downloading the Amar Chitra Katha app as we speak.
Okay.
It's like
let them do that, Raghunath. Allow them to.
I want it. I'm thinking, should I download it during the class? I don't want to miss out.
They are addictive.
What if they run out of apps?
They are addictive. My wife is like thrilled. She's just like, I've been using them for the wisdom of for what's up this week on the wisdom of the sages.
You're using the artwork. The artwork is very cool.
Yeah, I've been stealing it. I got a really good one for next week.
Okay, I apologize. Back on track.
Okay. Text number 10.
Whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities. Okay,
so he just cleared it up right there. He didn't try to play the God figure or try to be something more than he is. Yeah, no. This beyond me. There's someone else.
That's the sign of the saintly. They defer.
They defer.
By your mercy, by the mercy of my teachers, by the mercy of my lineage, by the mercy of the people who have loved and nurtured me, I have what I have. They don't just say, yeah, it's mine, I'm pretty smart. I create after the Lord's creation by his personal effulgence, known as the Brahma Jyoti. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, what's the firmament? And the influential planets and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness.
You got that firmament, Mara?
Firmament, Mara?
Yeah, the heavens or the sky, especially when regarded as a tangible thing.
Never heard that word.
Firmament.
A firmament.
I've heard it, but I've never bothered to figure out what it meant.
Yeah, firmament. I just skip right over it. That's
firmament. I thought it meant like the glow or the something. I didn't know.
I thought it was like
the sky.
A mint. Yeah, God makes mints. I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the supreme controller. So the less intelligent people are worshiping Brahma. They're worshiping the gods, because the gods are so powerful. They think, well, that must come from you, and therefore you're worshipable. So and they are, and Brahma is worshipable in a sense. It's better than self-worship, which is what we do. It's like, well, I did it, I created it. Look what I've done. No, you got your ability from somewhere else. You got your Shakti from somewhere else. You've got even your kindness comes from someone else. Sometimes even our spiritual advancement comes from somebody praying for us. We are made up of mercy, and we want to take the credit for everything that we got. And if we actually fully appreciated how many people we're in debt to, it would shatter our conception of reality. What do you think about that, Kaustubha?
We have no idea, right? We really do have to be humble.
And appreciative.
Now in this verse, Brahma says, Vasudevaya Dhimahi. Right. I meditate on Vasudeva, That's Krishna, right? We mentioned yesterday that the very first verse of Bhagavatam says what is it? Satyam Padam Dhimahi, that I meditate on that supreme truth, Vasudeva, because the verse right before that, the invocation said, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this, and then earlier in this canto, it began by saying, what was it? What is it that to remember Narayana? What is it to remember God at the end? Ante Narayana Smriti.
Ante Narayana Smriti.
To remember,
at the end.
What we meditate on in life is ultimately what we remember at the time of death.
Yeah.
So Brahma is here. He's saying, you're looking at me, you're seeing I'm performing tapas, I'm performing austerities. What I'm doing is I'm meditating on Krishna. Right? And that's where my inspiration and my knowledge and my ability and to create. It looks like I'm, the pauper is proud of his penny, right? We can do the smallest thing, we take pride in it. Brahma, he creates the universe. And his son, I'm not a father, but you are, fathers want their sons to admire them and, appreciate them, right?
I do.
Okay.
I want them to look up to me and think I'm the coolest. But
he's just saying, actually, there's someone cooler than me. I meditate on him. So Vasudevaya. And we're going to hear more about Vasudeva in this, even meaning Krishna, or Narayana, which is just a manifestation of Krishna's, an expansion of Krishna. We're going to hear about them a lot in this chapter.
Chui says firmament in Catalan, which is this area of Spain, is the stars in the sky, and in Spanish it's fermento.
Fermento.
That's our vocabulary word of the day.
Firmament.
Sampradaya for Sanskrit, and in Latin we're learning firmament.
Yeah, I always thought of stars like glow and that kind of thing.
At all, I didn't think of any of those things.
Yeah.
Okay, what number, Prabhu?
12 now.
14?
Oh no, no.
13?
Did we do 11? Personal effulgence?
11.
We did that.
12.
We did 12. We did 12. Gotcha. 13.
That's how I do my japa too. I'm just jumping over beads, skipping things. Well, my rounds went so quick. I'm just doing them by the fives. My kids are always like, how did you finish that round so quick?
You move fast in this program.
It's the mode of passion for you. Okay. I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the supreme controller. Text 13. The illusory energy of the Lord, Maya, cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position, but those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thoughts of it is I and it is mine. So the potency of the Lord is so powerful. Just she gets us into this world of me. It forgets that we're part of something bigger and makes the world seem like, yeah, it's me. It's so ignorant. It's me. I'm the center. How did we get to such a humiliating position, Kaustubha?
It's so lost. Now let's read a little what Prabhupada says here. Let's spend some time with this. We're not going to get to the verse that
we're going to get there.
No, tomorrow we'll get to it. So Prabhupada says nonsensical talks are not supported by the principles of Vedic literatures. And first grade nonsense talk is, it is I, it is mine. Now this is profound. Aham mameti, right? I and mine. Who was it? George Harrison had a song like that, right?
I, me, and mine. George
I
Harrison.
I mean mine.
Okay, right from the Bhagavatam, matter of fact.
So he says, a godless civilization is exclusively conducted by such false ideas and such persons without any factual realization of God, except a false God, or falsely declare themselves to be God to mislead persons who are already bewildered by the deluding energy. Those who are before the Lord, however, and who surrender unto him cannot be influenced by the deluding energy. Therefore, they are free from the misconception of it is I, it is mine. And therefore, they do not accept a false God or pose themselves as equal to the Supreme Lord. Identification of the bewildered person is distinctly given in this verse. How are we bewildered? We misconceptions of I, particularly I am the controller, right? This is happening by the power of me, you know,
I
and
mean,
mind.
Jiva, Nancy Rothman, this is up there in the 12 steps. It's
Is
sort
it?
of like, what is it again? There's a power greater than myself. It's like the first
Okay.
thing we got to get into our head,
Right.
right? I guess the second
Higher
thing,
power. Number
second
two.
thing you got to get in your head.
Number two.
The second step, that there's forces greater than me. And it's so frustrating because I can't control. And the addictive process is incredible selfishness. Why? Because I need to get my fix right now. And from that, we try to control things. And so the relinquishing of control, I can't control everything. There's only very few things I can control. What I can control is my senses and my choices. And we start to concentrate on that. And once we do, it relieves so much pain from our life. It's amazing.
It's
That's my statement.
Okay, thank you. The coughing was like that.
Coughing's like, that's it.
That's Krishna saying that.
That's Krishna saying, stop. You did good. Now shut up.
So, but this, you know, if it's actually very profound. In one sense, it's very simple, but it's very profound. The conception that, like, for instance, mine, that any possession actually belongs to me, or that really I have the capability of doing all. You just mentioned that we have choices that we can make. You know, we have that freedom, and even that freedom becomes withdrawn from us if we make the wrong choices, right?
Yeah.
We sometimes use the example of a car. You know, I can make a choice. I'm free to drive the car where I want, but once I make a choice to drive it at 100 miles an hour, I've limited my next choices. You know, to turn quickly, or to stop quickly, to brake quickly. So we have a certain amount of freedom to make choices, but if we make the wrong choices, that freedom gets restricted, and then we end up in bodies based on those choices. You know, now you're in the body of, you know, a caterpillar. Limited choices.
That limits a bunch of your choices.
That's going to limit your world.
You can't ride a motorcycle if you're a caterpillar.
You do not have that choice as a caterpillar. Yeah. You can get on a motorcycle.
Someone else can drive it. You probably get off once he hits about 45.
Right. So
Mary just gave me the Did you see that? Did anybody see that? She just went did her head nod.
That was Mary's choice, you know. Let her make that choice. So we have the ability, but we take credit for things that we think we, just like that child in the home. You ask them, where do you get your food from? They say, I get it myself. But their ability to get that food is actually just the teeniest, tiniest part of it, right? That I go to the refrigerator and get it myself. Yeah. That food was provided. We eat food without slowing down and thinking, where did this food come from?
Yeah, just shove it in my mouth.
How is it? But not even that. How is it digested? We don't really have anything to do with that. Krishna says in the Gita,
not only is it digested, it nourishes us.
It breaks it all down, and then we get nourished. And this all happens by chance. Give me a break.
Give me a break.
So Krishna says, I am that power of digestion, you know, within the body. You know, so we think, you know, I and mine, we think that I'm doing everything. We just have some ability to make choices. Now, if we're wise, we're going to make the choice to reconnect, and that just opens up new realms of freedom, you know. But actually, we tend to not make that choice, and we get locked into all kind of, and still we consider it's me that did this, I did that, you know, I created this, I created that, and then mine, that this is mine, that there is nothing. Ultimately, there's nothing that we create, because even if we create something, we're creating out of elements that are already created, right? What is something fantastic that you might be able to build, Raghunath?
Something fantastic I can build?
Yeah.
You want to know the truth?
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm not talented at building whatsoever.
What could you build?
Legos?
Okay. I mean, even Legos. Say you build like I went to a Lego art exhibit. I think
Let's
it was last year.
Let's keep on focus here, Prabhu.
Well, they're incredible. I am. They were incredible. People did incredible things with Legos. You know,
yeah, I know. There's if you go to FOA Schwartz, they have a Lego thing right there.
Okay.
Like the giant, the Chrysler Building, Lego.
Yeah, this was, I mean, they were doing everything. They were doing incredible stuff, like
But anyway,
famous paintings and all that kind of stuff. But even then, I'm taking Legos that somebody else made. Someone else made those Legos. I can't make that Lego
No.
structure without someone having made the Legos.
sure. The greatest furniture builders, like where we live, there's like the great people who build their own furniture. Okay, well, where'd you get the materials from?
Right.
Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, and therefore, we own nothing. We really own nothing.
We're
Because-
secondhand gods. Secondhand gods.
It's lots of
Shelter
hardcore
Shelter
lyrics.
lyrics.
Today. Lots of
All
hardcore
comes
lyrics.
down to shelter lyrics. Secondhand
Okay.
gods.
Yeah, so we take something that's already so a humble person, a person with humility says, nothing's mine.
Here it is. Secondhand gods. That's all we are. Not creating, manipulating, and leaving the scars. Robbing from the earth, stealing from the trees, not out of need, but greed and false prestige. But it's all yours. What can I own? Not family, property. It's all on loan. But our miserly minds of I, me, and mine.
There you go.
We fight in wars for what's not even ours. We're fighting for land that's not even our land. We fight in wars for what's not ours. So here's my plea for Sharanagati.
But Raghunath, you know what you have to realize about those lyrics?
They're not even mine.
There you go.
They're not even mine. They're not even mine. Though I do
right.
get a royalty for them.
That's not yours either.
It's not. It's true. It's true.
And that's actually it might sound crazy, but that's actually the reality, and that's actually the consciousness that the Bhakti-yogi is moving through the world with. That this body is not mine. My intelligence is not mine. My home is not mine. It's all meant to be reconnected to God. And it's only in that state of mind that we become free of anxiety and we become happy, because it's the truth. Hit it.
Boom.
All right.
Me and Mara are on a path of
Raghunath,
losing weight, getting fit, clearing up my wrinkles.
were you, Raghunath, and we got to ask Louis and Parmananda, were you at that Void concert where the guy broke his leg in the first song?
And oh God, what happened? What just happened to me? Oh,
I took it in the wrong direction. Everything collapsed.
I wasn't at that Void show, though I have seen Void.
I thought you were at that. It was at Great Gildersleeves. You were.
Guy broke his leg in the first three.
I think it was in the first song. Louis was probably there. Louis, were you there?
Louis was there.
Louis was there.
Anyway,
Everyone
thanks
was. That was a
joining
perfect.
us.
Anyway, I won't go into it. We'll talk about it another time.
I'm not going to talk about Void.
There's a lesson to be learned.
The opposite of Void here. It's
Okay.
substance. Thanks everybody for joining us. What a fun show today. Reading the Bhagavatam. Reading the Srimad Bhagavatam every morning. That's what we're going to do. And if we miss the show by some freak of nature, we're going to go back and listen to it during the course of the day. Excited for tomorrow, Friday. We're going to get to that big verse 16. And thanks for everybody for joining us out there. One of the others who listen while they're driving their cars, who can't wake up at 5 due to their schedule. Thanks for listening to us on Apple Podcasts or YouTube or Stitcher or Spotify. We appreciate you. Go to Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and write a little review and tell us your story. We'd like to hear from you. And thanks to everybody on Zoom. If you also want to join Zoom, or if you have a question for Question Day, please write Mara at wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com, so she will give you the secret codes so you can also enter into our coven, our secret transcendental coven. Where things happen.
Isn't that where like witches are or something like that?
Where we talk about things and we look at each other and give each other secret mudras that the others can't see.
A coven is a bunch of witches.
Yeah, well, we are. We're white witches. We are white
Good
witches, Kaustubha.
Okay.
Radhe!